Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm just saying if I got my microphone over there instead of right here, that way I got a powerful voice, is what I'm trying to get at.
It's Drewski McGillicuddy's Book of Shadows Blair Witch 2 movie review.
Hey, everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and guess what? The theme of the week is witches. So I watched Book of Shadows Blair Witch 2 from 2000. Also because my buddy Jason Smith from Sinister Cinema, maybe you've heard of him, he just reviewed this the other day. And I like what he had to say about it. We both like what Good Bad Flicks had to say about it. Now, here's what I got to say about it. What I got to say about it. Sorry, I got the microphone. I probably shouldn't yell. Anyway, so yeah, this movie came out in 2000. I was probably, a freshman in high school, maybe? Freshman or sophomore? I don't fucking know. But me and my friend Stacy, we were obsessed with this movie. I owned the soundtrack because it was an amazing soundtrack. Had stuff from Queens of the Stone Age, Dave Grohl and Tony Iommi. It's one of the best songs ever made, actually. I love it. I love it to death. Maybe you've heard about it. I can't remember how to say it. Goodbye Lament. Goodbye Lament. Lament. Anyway, it's a great song. Look it up. Maybe I'll put a link in the description box down below because it's probably my favorite song on the soundtrack. And then there's even a song that's not even that terrible by Nickelback. I know. I mean, I never thought I'd say it, but I was watching the movie and the song was in the background. I'm like, hey, that's Nickelback. Anyway, so this movie starts off and it's got documentary style footage and like news footage. Kurt Loder with MTV News, and they're talking about the mass hysteria caused by the Blair Witch Project and this town of Burkittsville, Maryland, how they're getting traffic of all these weirdos that want to go see where the movie was made. And honestly, me and my friend Stacy, after we saw the first one, we probably would have went on this little tour that's going on up in Burkittsville, Maryland. And I like how they get average-looking people to play the townsfolk. And then they get all these hot people to be in the movie. But no, seriously though, that is a nice touch to have like the average-looking American citizen. It's more believable. But then we meet Jeff. He's selling trinkets out on the side of the road, talking about how much he loves the Blair Witch, and he was institutionalized for one reason or the other. We don't really find out why, but you can just the looks on this guy's face throughout the movie. You know he's fucking crazy, and his performance. He's the guy from Burn Notice. I don't know what his name is. I couldn't be bothered to look, but he is fucking amazing in this. He's like, I idolized this guy. I was like, I want to be fucking crazy. I started dressing like him with my black thermals on the outside of my t-shirt, or on the inside of my t-shirts, and then I used to dye my hair black, but I wasn't like goth like Kim, not like Kim. And then you got Kim, this hot ass goth chick. And no, normally sometimes too much makeup bothers me, but it just makes her eyes pop. She's got real pretty eyes. Am I showing the picture? I don't even know. I'm not sure what I'm doing. But anyway, then you got Erica. You got Tristan, and you got Steven, okay? And they're all going on this tour of the filming locations of the original Blair Witch Project. And I love the line from Kim when Jeff asked her, well, why'd you even bother to come? And she says, because I thought the movie was cool. I like it. I also like when they found Kim, just that scene, her laying on the graveyard, and she says she needs amphetamines, and he says, weed I've got, alcohol I'm going to get. And then she said, both now, bam, in the van, on their way to party. So, Steven and Tristan, whatever the fuck her name is, they're writing a book about whether or not this is fact or fiction, basically. Hysteria or history. History or hysteria. And so, that's their, what do you call it? Their slice of the bread. And then you got The Wiccan by Erica, and she's pretty good in the movie. she does kind of beat you over the head with the whole I'm a Wiccan, I'm a Wiccan, and that's one of my only few gripes. Steven's got some weird ticks to him that kind of aggravate me, but overall his performance, especially, we'll talk about his performance here in a little bit. But then, yeah, Kim, I love all these people. I used to watch this movie over and over again. I did not even know, because all my friends, every single one of my friends, we all loved and obsessed over this movie for a good couple years, at least till 2003, and then we finally moved on. And it wasn't until Internet Movie Database that I just randomly one day decided to look up and see what this has, and I was appalled, to say the least. Look at this! Or look at this! Look at it! Just wherever I put it, fucking look at it! That's fucking ridiculous. Like, people are giving this movie like 1 star. Like, are you fucking serious? There are some legitimately creepy fucking scenes in this movie. Because, yeah, once they're partying and whatnot, they wake up and it's like it's snowing. And I love this scene. I love the partying scene too, because they play that Queens of the Stone Age song. Back at that marijuana, nicotine, ecstasy, and alcohol. Cocaine. It's a fucking awesome song. And then, oh yeah, see, I totally skipped over my favorite line in the movie. Somebody says something about threefold to these assholes that are on another tour group, and he says, "What's that mean?" And Jeff goes, "It means your balls will fall off in 3 days." Fucking great. I love it. So anyway, we're going to move along. They're partying, and that's a really good scene. I just, I don't want this video to be super duper long. One of these days I'll come back and I'll do a revisited of the Book of Shadows, because it is one of my favorite horror movies of the early 2000s, late 90s, whatever you want to call it. So I had thought it came out in 99, but it takes place in 1999, right after the Blair Witch Project. All right? And then, yeah, so moving right along. They wake up. All the shit's destroyed. They have no idea what the fuck's going on. It's like they blacked out. And the equipment's destroyed. It's snowing. Documents that Steven and Tristan had been working on. And just nobody knows where Erica is. And then here she comes. I'm right here. That kind of aggravated me. It's like, literally, bitch, like, I don't know. That scene kind of bugs me. But I'm not here to pick on this movie because I love this fucking movie. Wait till you see the rating I give it. I mean, yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about? So, Kim sees the tapes. The tapes are still there. She can see them in her mind's eye. And the tapes are right where they found the original tapes from the first movie. How clever is that? But what I like the most is the scene, I guess before they woke up. Was it before they woke up? When she's dreaming about having the miscarriage? Oh, that's great. That's fucking wonderful. Wonderful. Hey, maybe I'll cut that out. Will you fucking sit down and shut up?
I'm trying to. I got bored out there.
Anyway. So the miscarriage scene is legitimately creepy. I don't know whether it's the sound effects or the directing, what it is, but the scene is legitimately creepy. So we wake up, they're arguing and they're fighting, and then she has the miscarriage, and then we go to the hospital. And in between all this shit, after that, they keep cutting in with this fucking interrogation room bullshit, which that was threw in by the studios. It doesn't really bother me that much, but it is kind of jarring. But I can deal with it. I can see why a lot of people don't like that. But other than that, even with all the studio meddling, I still love this movie. And we'll talk about it. We will talk about it, because some of the stuff you could have just... Anyway, shut up and listen. Where are we at? Now I'm going to have to cut this out.
Miscarriage scene.
So, Steven is consoling Tristan in the hospital. Or no. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, so then we're in the hospital. She has a miscarriage. It's like she's freezing or something. It's like she's been sitting in some ice water. It's weird. So, yeah, I listened to every little detail. But then she's in the room and she's talking to the nurse, and the nurse said, that's just your body's way of telling you something was wrong. And she says, something was wrong. And then she pulls back the curtains, and I legitimately, like, yeah, this scene alone, like, I don't get scared by movies, but just this image in my head fucked with me for a little bit. Like, I'm pretty sure I had some bad dreams that night. But yeah, I normally don't get scared in movies, and this movie didn't necessarily scare me. It fucked with my head. It had me like, what the fuck? Because this is a what the fuck movie. Maybe that's another reason that a lot of people don't get it or don't like it. They just wanted another found footage movie, you know. Oh well, you can't always get what you want. You got like a cerebral thriller type. What the fuck did I say earlier? It's very cerebral though, and it's a thriller. It's thrilling. It thrills me because then once they get back to Jeff's place, things really start getting fucking weird. But I do love the fact that he lives in this abandoned broom factory that he got for $1. I would love to live in this place. This was like, I idolized this guy, I guess because he got to live in such a big, giant open space with all these rooms for activities and such. I mean, wouldn't you just love to live here? If you've seen this movie, tell me you wouldn't fucking live in this fucking factory. Anyway, so they go to watch the tapes, and it's nothing. Nothing. But that big giant tree, there was a big giant tree when they first got there. There was another fucking scene I forgot to mention. The big giant tree. It's like, well, how the fuck did this get here? And they're like, oh, we're not scared by your voodoo or whatever. And he's like, okay, yeah, because I planned this. I built the fucking foundation around this big giant tree. But then they go to watch the video, and it's just this little stick. But anyway, so later on, things start getting strange, and they keep fighting with one another. They're all getting these marks on them, and it's suspenseful. It's like I remember the first time I saw this was on the edge of my seat. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then I love the scene where Kim goes back out to the store and borrows the van, and she gets the beer. That whole back and forth with her and Peggy. Won't you do your fucking job? Reminds me of a lot of people I know. But, yeah. So when she leaves and she has the little fender bender. But that's beside the point because they find out. Actually, I'm not going to tell you. If you haven't seen this movie, if you're one of those people that because everybody hates on this movie, you haven't seen it, I'm not going to tell you any more than I've told you. All this crazy shit happens, and then they get back to the warehouse, and even more crazier shit happens. But I do want to talk about the sheriff. First of all, we're in New England. Where the fuck did they get Yosemite Sam from? That's another thing that irks me about this movie. But his performance is fucking amazing, and I love him. I love him. Well, let's talk about Steven. Like I said, he has some tics that bother me. But in the end, here's a little bit of a spoiler. In the end, when they're questioning him in the interrogation room, he tells them to look at the tapes. Look at the tapes of what happened. Look at the goddamn tapes! So they do. And it's not what we saw happen. And then just his, somebody messed with those tapes, and he spit, somebody messed with those tapes! It's just gives me fucking chills. And then that's where they end it on, and then there's a little bit of a news broadcast, and then the music starts playing. I thoroughly fucking enjoy this movie from beginning to end with all the unnecessary nonsense. I could have did without the jarring flashes of beating those tourists. Them tourists. Anyway, so what are we going to give this movie? We're going to give it 2 gold stars, motherfucker. What? Yeah, I fucking love this shit. So it's getting 2 gold stars. And it's fucked up because I hadn't watched this movie in what seems like 10 years, and now I'm ashamed of myself. And goddamn it, when are they going to release it on Blu-ray? Because I really, really, really want this on Blu-ray. I could take or leave the director's cut. I think the movie's fine the way it is. A lot of people talk about how great it would be to have a director's cut. Just be grateful that you have this. An A misunderstood, underrated, yeah, Jason Smith, under fucking rated classic. Like, that's the other thing. This movie was a fucking way ahead of its time. Anyway, I'm getting all worked up. I don't want to talk about it anymore. So like the video, subscribe, and thanks to all my Patreons. I appreciate it. And hopefully you enjoyed that little secret video. Maybe I'll show it to everybody else. You just got to promise to don't show it to anybody else other than you guys or something. Don't pay any attention to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.